Zoe Donati, alias uno dei poverazzi di qui sopra, detto i plastici.
Anch'io li ho fatti.
Sì, tutti. Anche se ho avuto la fortuna di confrontarmi con il professor Peter e volevo chiedergli se secondo lui esiste un qualche legame o analogia tra questo progetto e quelli attualmente in corso in Italia, all'estero. Qual è secondo lui il filo, se c'è un filo conduttore o una qualche similitudine?
Similar in terms of close reading
well, the only one I would say, I'm very fond of Moneo's buildings in Murcia. The tower in Murcia has a really marvelous relationship, even though it's contemporary, with the church on one side and the residential and office buildings on the other two sides. So also Moneo's building in Logroño, I think, is an important building that deals with context in a similar way. That's not just repeating the context, but tries to change the context in a subtle way. I think Moneo, I think Alvaro Siza is another that comes to mind, who tries to work in a way that adjusts to context without copying or repeating context. So I would have thought Alvaro Siza and Moneo today are two architects that do that. Of course, we could, there's a whole catalog, if I really wanted to, of real problems that I see in Milano that have nothing to do with Milanese context, but I certainly don't speak ill of my colleagues. But if anybody is concerned about our project, I want to take them out into the street and see some of the real problems that are in Milano. Ours is, if it's a problem, it is a modest problem compared to some of my colleagues and friends. So I think we shouldn't be having a problem in this room. There are others that need to be brought in for maybe 10 lashes than what we have done. We certainly haven't done anything to Milano that will hurt in the long run. I think that what has happened in Milano in the last 10 years is not very happy to me. Without any disrespect, people who should know better and do better are not doing that. And whose fault that is, I don't know. But certainly, I want to just say one thing to this audience. I have been in love with Italy since 1961, okay? I first came here in 1961, and I fell in love, well, I had a revelation in Lombardia, okay? I had never seen buildings like Cesare Cattaneo, Giuseppe Taragni, Pietro Lingeri, not to mention Vittoriano Vigano and Luca Kenti and Caccia Domignoni. I mean, I really loved what I saw in Lombardia and especially here in Milano. And so I don't think you find another foreign architect that's outside of Italia or even in Italia that has studied and looked at and appreciated the kinds of things that you find in this area. All right, number one. That doesn't make it any better or worse. I'm just saying it is a product of my love, and my favorite piazza in the whole world that my students study, that I go to practically every time I'm here, is Vigevano, okay? Better than the Piazza San Marco. I make my students, and all of them advanced students with theoretical and historical knowledge, and I say Vigevano, they don't know what that is, all right? And I say, if you don't know what Vigevano is, you must go before you can graduate from this university. Because it's the most important piazza that exists, I think, in the world. I've been to Red Square, Piazza San Marco, whatever. None of them compare with Vigevano. And of course, then I go to one of my favorite architects, because my belief is it was done by Donato Bramante, and then I start looking at all the other Bramante here, and I'm, you know, absolutely incredible. Go to Pavia, and the other church, I'm losing it because I didn't need to go into this. But for me, I think that I can look at Milano in a way more objectively and from the outside in a very real way than perhaps you all can look at it. And I believe the same thing. If you came to New York, that you could look at New York in a way that I couldn't see. I've never been to the Statue of Liberty, okay? I've never been up the Empire State Building. You know, I haven't done the things that people do when they come to New York. But I'm not certain how many of your students have ever been to Vigevano, right? I know my students don't know about it, right? And why is that? And so maybe it's possible from the outside to have a view of the world inside that is just as valid as the inside looking out. Thank you.
Scusate, vi ringrazio tutti, ringrazio in particolare Peter Eisenman degli Esposti, Lorenzo degli Esposti, per questa bella giornata che a me ricorda alcuni dei dibattiti e delle discussioni che abbiamo fatto all'Institute negli anni 70. Grazie mille, grazie a tutti.